All right, it's now time for raising funds for world domination, day number 198. All right. So it's time for the daily update. Once again, we won on the renovation case. I still have not heard any information about an appeal. And the next area of focus is the Shopify Store. So once again, I'm decided to set up a Shopify store to try and get some more sales. But my Google Merchant Center is disabled, and once again, there's no updates on this front. For the marketing video, I've got 2 videos in the queue to go out. I should probably schedule the next one. And the last item, which is the current goal of getting the terminal block mining simulation game to version 0.0.9 by day 200, I think I'm looking pretty good for that. Because as of last night, the change I did last night, I think that pretty much puts me to where I want to be. And there was a couple of just small like text alignment things I fixed today. And I added some more, I added some links to YouTube videos and stuff to the README. Nothing super significant today. So, oh yeah, and I think I fixed a bug with some of the item selection. So today what we'll do we'll just do some testing. Because I think the game as it is right now is pretty good. There are some things I could probably do to make it a bit better, but I'll probably avoid the risk of breaking stuff. And I'll just look for some existing bugs. Bash 1 says, hello again. How's it going? So yeah, the list feature is working pretty good. And that little bit of logic I added last night to calculate how many adjacent columns there should be, that looks like it works very well. I guess there's some more logic I could probably do to make that better, but I think I'll leave it there for now. Actually, let's go ahead. So we'll try just playing it from scratch. Steve Gerst says hello. How's it going? All right, we'll try a speed run. All right, I picked up some items. Placing blocks works. Mining works. So now I can actually be on any of these and press the C key to craft. So that's a bit of an improvement. And I select the stone pickaxe. Now I can mine to a larger radius. Very well, excellent. So I guess now that I'm at this point, I'm probably going to slow down on development. So today we're on day 198. Today I'll probably just play test it and look for bugs, and then in the next day I will try to fix those bugs if I find them. And then for day 199, I guess that's just a buffer day, and then by day 200 I should have it actually released. Now that I have the better UI, I can actually think about improvements, new recipes. I guess the inventory could be better. I guess you can't really like move stuff around, or if you want to like drop your items off, if you want to store them somewhere, you can't do that. The other thing would be new crafting recipes. So I think I may have I may do a step for where you collect wood and then you turn the wood to charcoal or something. I guess I can make iron picks now. I guess that's not a good experience. I really, I guess the next thing I should do is the crafting menu should maybe like tell you how many things. Because right now I'm pressing enter and crafting things, and I can't see anything. Well, I think I'm crafting. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't even have any iron oxide. Or no, I didn't make it metallic iron. Move that up so it doesn't pick up the keystrokes as much. Need to find some ore veins. Just watched the movie Interstellar again just now. Do you have a favorite sci-fi movie? Actually, I don't really even watch movies much. I don't even remember the last time I watched a movie. Let's see. I mean, I guess from years ago, there are good sci-fi movies. If you ask me to if you ask me to name one movie that was produced in the last 5 years, I actually wouldn't even know. But like before that, pre-COVID, there was I guess one, just because it's convenient in my mind, there was a clip. YouTube was recommending me these retro clips from like the 90s, and there was it was a news clip about Jurassic Park coming out, and the reviews people had, and like everyone just absolutely loves it. I think Jurassic Park was definitely a good and culturally significant piece. I mean, I guess at the moment, or like nowadays, I don't know, technologically and in the writing, if Jurassic Park came out today, it wouldn't be as impressive. But at the time, like that was just so, it was so iconic. I think a big part of it was that was kind of when I don't know, the scientific knowledge and special effects and stuff was actually getting good, but now it's too good. Jurassic Park counts as sci-fi in my book. Yeah, I guess there's quite a bit that falls under the sci-fi genre. There's a bunch of people that like Star Wars. I never really. I watched it like just to be able to say that I watched it. Well, I guess at the time, this is quite a while. It was like 2007 or something. That's when I watched all of the available Star Wars movies that were out in 2007, and since then I haven't thought about it. And her says hello. How's it going? Okay, now I should be able to make some metallic iron. I guess one update I should do is when you craft an item, it should select it. Good. What about you? I'm pretty good. I think my current goal is to release the next version of the terminal block mining game, which I'm testing right now, by day 200. And right now, I think I'm on track. I've got all the features, the scrollable list, and it seems to work. So we're going to perfect that and make sure there's no bugs. Need some better terrain generation. My lights just gave out. I thought it was maybe an issue with the power or something, but I guess they must have went kaput. Alright, I guess we'll have to do the rest of the stream in the dark. I think I have serious delay problems. Usually there's not much of a delay. Are some of your chat messages not showing up? Because sometimes when people say there might be some delay, it's because YouTube is censoring you sometimes, which I almost never do any moderation. If some of your chats aren't showing up, if you click like up here by the top of the chat window, I'm not sure what it looks like for you, but you can switch between like something like live chat and all chat or something. I guess this works, but I guess it'd be better if I had some feedback about like what I need. Google AI account 1 says yeet. How's it going? Man, it's a lot of work to make iron. I'm already out of iron oxide again. Almost day 200. Yep. Zhang says hi. How's it going? Without the lights, I'm extra mysterious tonight. It depends on people's monitor. You might not even be able to see me. I did all that work and I only got 7 iron picks now. I guess I'll have to think about a different progression. I'll do some research on like the earliest mining techniques. I guess I'm sure there's some kind of progression. Once you get a little bit of iron, you can start building something to mine your iron faster. Chat's pretty quiet tonight. Bijan Lamau says hi. How's it going? What are you doing? I'm currently testing a video game that I'm building. I'm getting ready for, I'm going to try to release the next version of the game by day 200. And I think it's got everything that I need in it. Crafting menu. It's a terminal-based video game that runs purely in the Linux terminal. Name your game. Can I play on? Yes. There's a link in the description to the GitHub repo. You have to compile it, or you can just run one of the jars if you want. But all the source code is available for it. The primary premise of the game is you wander around an infinite procedurally generated universe, and you spam the M key to mine blocks of different types of ores. And you can make different types of picks. And honestly, right now there isn't much for crafting recipes. And for most of the blocks, you can't do anything with them. But the most recent push was to actually get a crafting recipe list, so you can actually select and interact with to figure out which recipes so you can explicitly decide which recipe you want to invoke. And that was a prerequisite for really adding more recipes. To start off with, there were only 4 recipes, making the wooden pickaxe, stone and iron pickaxe, and also metallic iron. But I'll probably, because I've advertised it mostly around mining iron ore, so I'll probably, start off expanding it. I'm going to add more types of iron ore. Like there's a whole bunch of, it's not just like iron oxide, there's a whole bunch of special types of iron ore. And then I'll probably, I'll think about how I can add some game mechanics to simulate those different, the kind of like progression of, maybe you start out making your iron like we did thousands of years ago, like 2,000 year old iron forges, and then eventually you get up to super advanced high quality carbon steel iron forges. Hank Raymond, I haven't seen you in a while. Still at it with the Wayments. Max the Leader. Oh yeah, I remember Max the Leader. Interesting. It's always a collection. I guess either it's like a bot. Someone has like a bot group, or maybe it's a group of friends. Robert Locks. I guess that could make sense. Maybe you guys are like a brain-rotted Roblox friend group. Do you guys play Roblox? Aren't bots just fans of Domination? Excellent. Robert, do you like Roblox? I've never played Roblox. To weigh or not to meant? That is the question. Roblox is a bad game? Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of inappropriate things there, like money laundering. Thanks for all the 100s. Do you know about the Simpsons in Fortnite? I don't know about that. I know of Fortnite, and I know of the Simpsons, but not of the Simpsons in Fortnite. Is that the latest thing they add? They add familiar stuff to Fortnite? Robert, could you please add an ore called Waymanite? I could. Is there a type of, what's the cast number for that? Wait a minute. Sure, I will. Giordani says hello. How much game you play? How do I answer that? I guess outside of I don't play any video games outside of this work, other than my own game recently. Cast number is 67. I believe you. That's also not how you spell CAS. It's just CIS. How are you doing today? I'm pretty good. My goal has been to get to the next release by day 200. And I think I'm on track for that. So tonight I'm just testing, trying to see if I can find any really bad bugs. No specific goals. Can you make a CPU? Actually, I do think eventually that will be a thing you can do in the game. I'll have to add a whole bunch more steps and stuff before I get there. What is your favorite Linux command? That's a good question. I actually made a video recently where I talk about that. If you check my channel, that's check my shorts videos. I recently made a video about that. Waymond Robert Pitts. I'm not sure what that relates to. You are from American? I am from Canada. Blood? I don't know what that is. Created a calculator in JavaScript. Excellent. That's a good first step for getting started in your JavaScript programming journey. Max Leader is a bot. Let's see, what's the last thing he said? I don't see, is there something in the... There's always people who come in and then arbitrarily accuse people of being bots. Please add... what's the cast number for that? Now I want to create a snake game. You could. You're not a bot. You're full of love, compassion, and spirit. The problem is it's like AI is so good now, there's literally no way to know if people are bots. Honestly, if someone accuses other people of being bots, they don't have enough evidence, that almost makes me think that person is a bot. Because that's what a bot would do. Good night, Robert. Enjoy your project. Have a good night. Game is looking nice. Yeah, it looks the UI looks a bit more like, actual game like, with the lists. And now I can basically just add stuff to the crafting list here. And then I guess as I go, I'll figure out more UI improvements. I could maybe even put like a search bar here or something. So like if you want a specific crafting recipe, you just type and then it auto filters down the list. I think bot wouldn't throw accusations because it draws too much attention to the bot. Depends what the bot's trying to accomplish. Because I'm sure there's some bots that advertise things, and then I'm sure there's some bots that are just like for trolling. Like I'm sure I've never looked into it, but if like a random person, like if a random person from 4chan wants to just make a bot and then, like I'm sure it happens frequently. People are like, hey, let's go troll this person. And then someone will create a bot and just get a bunch of bots to talk to each other in the chat, and then get all the bots to accuse each other of being bots in the person's chat. And then everyone will get angry and you're human? Excellent. If someone is spamming, I think it's fair to call out their bot behavior. I haven't seen anything too bad tonight, so. Is there a seahorse emoji? I think there might be an emoji for that. Sounds like something a bot would say. Maybe everyone is a bot. Maybe all of my viewers are bots. There isn't. We have so many emojis now. I think they've kind of they've opened the floodgates. People are going to start requesting like all kinds of ridiculous emojis. It'll never stop now. If you ask LLM that, it will try to test all emojis and go crazy. Will it? ChatGPT, write a funny, witty comment about Waymint and Robert Locks. I don't even know what that Robert Locks. That sounds like grammatically. Like is locks used as a verb there? You told me it will. I mean, there's lots of LLMs out there. If you ask an LLM about a seahorse emoji, it goes crazy. I don't know. I'll have to test that. I'm doubtful that it will go crazy. It'll probably just it'll do what LLMs do. Is there that you recommend? That question is incomplete. Please try it. All right, I will. Not right now, I will. I guess this game still has some usability issues. It's very cumbersome to switch between crafting recipes and windows. Is there a book that you recommend? I don't know. There's lots of books. I don't read that many books, to be honest. Nowadays, most of the information I need, I just find it on YouTube or I guess back in the day I read the How to Win Friends and Influence People book. That's a common one that people recommend. Actually, in my next video, I do talk about one of the few books I bought specifically just to read, which was The Lean Startup. And in that video, I talk a bit about how some of the lean startup mentality is not a. I think there's some flaws, but they kind of just oversimplify how difficult it is to build a business. Robert is a robot. Confirm. I guess. How do you create a GPU or a CPU? Oh, it's easy. First you get a rock, then you smash the rock. Now you've got 98% concentrated silicon dioxide. Oh yeah, then you purify it to 99.9999% pure silicon. Then you put it in a crucible. You can heat it up. And that's how to get started. There's a lot of there's a bunch of other steps too. But I made a video about the rest of the steps. Rest of the owl moment? No, you just gotta, it's easy, you just gotta believe in yourself. Already got lots of stone picks now. Google and Samsung, despite believing in themselves, can't make a decent CPU. Yeah, I'd imagine the making one CPU, I think, is easy, but having like a fab that can produce millions and having all the, like, keeping the production lines up and running smoothly is, I imagine, like doing everything at scale would be difficult. And modern CPUs now have so many layers in them that the time from like the start of the fab process to the end is probably, I think it can be months. So you have to have like the physical, square foot space for like, storing the in progress stuff. I'm also a Canadian dev. Just started a new job where I'm taking over legacy C++ system. And they're asking me to do a full rewrite. Pretty hesitant to try that though. Interesting. Are you rewriting it in C++? Yeah, full rewrite. I guess the well, I guess you didn't really ask for advice, but I'd say that try to figure out where, if you can, if they're like components of it, if you can break up the parts, do like you know, if there's like unit testable subsets, you can rewrite them a bit at a time. That might make it easier. Do not unless they have a decent support in time. Well, if they're asking for a rewrite, then that's the company's risk to take on. That will take many hours. Depends how big it is. Months probably. Well, it all depends on how big it is. On one of the contracts I did, I did a, they had this like server that was badly written and it was crashing and stuff. And they needed like to fix all the bugs. So I rewrote it in like a couple of months or something. Spent a lot of late nights on it. And I suggested to them the long-term thing is they probably should rewrite it in Java. And then I learned that apparently previously it was written in Java first, and then the developer claimed that it was like too slow, so he rewrote it in C++ with the premise that, you know, that would increase performance. But it was just like horribly, like there's just like mallocs and stuff everywhere, and it would seg fault all the time because it was just, there was pointer problems. And rewrite the thing in Python. I don't know, depending on how big it is. I would say Python is probably not my first choice for rewriting a legacy C++ system. I would say probably maybe Java or maybe Go or something, or Rust. I don't know Rust, and I probably will not bother learning it. But enough people use it that maybe it would be a good substitute. It really depends on what the application does. That's what I feared. But the long rewrite time probably. Yeah, it all depends. I mean, you said a legacy C++ system to rewrite. How many lines of code is it? Is it like 100,000 or 2,000? If it's like 2,000, you know, that's a bit more manageable. My worry is that I'll be riddled with C macros because of lack of templates. Yeah, C macros really make the code pretty, not just unreadable, but like hard to even figure out what's going on. Like, especially if you look at a lot of the, even in a lot of the GNU core utils code, there's tons of like if-defs and stuff for bizarre platforms that haven't been supported in years. And a lot of them will they'll like it's not even clear if the if-def is even active, but it'll like completely remove certain like declarations. Like you might have a structure, and the structure is defined differently on different platforms, so it just makes it so much more difficult to figure out what's going on. Rewrite enclosure or Haskell. No one could fire you. I think they can still fire you. I think the concept of I think it's all too common that people think like, oh, this company won't fire me. They need me. If they fire me, then the company would, the product is going to fail. And then they'll fire the person anyway, and then the company will just fail. Let's play with pixels. It says, I'll be back in 2 days. All right. See you on day 200. Rewrite it in Emacs. Let's make it a package for Emacs. That's one option. Yeah, I second that question. So much suspense. Is it 1,000 lines? 1,000,000 lines? There's a good iron mine right here. Guess we'll never find out. Closure looks funny to code in. I don't think I've ever written any closure code. Cube says question mark. What stream am I in? This is a stream where I, for the last, I guess, many days, I've been working on developing my terminal-based video game. It's a video game you play in the Linux terminal, where you simulate the process of mining blocks of iron ore in an infinite, procedurally generated universe. And one of the recent features I added was these crafting lists. Like a general scrollable list feature that works in the terminal. It's the best stream in the world. Yes, indeed. Discord server is dead. Oh, there's not much activity there, you mean? Yeah, I guess it never really took off. I guess I could try to get involved and try and like make posts and stuff, but I guess if I do, maybe I don't know. If I became more involved, I would probably want to lock it down a bit more. Just because there's a lot of, I don't know, people on Discord. Discord seems to filter for a certain type of like, I don't know, brain rotted type community. So I could probably if I did, I'd probably use the one that I have and just like kind of post there and shift the focus a bit, and then the other one, and like if other people want to have their own ones that I'll continue to link to, where they can post whatever kind of unhinged memes and stuff, as long as it's nothing like crazy illegal. Our dream's still alive. Yep. Maybe 50k alliance. Let's see, geophysics simulation. Using OpenGL, C++, and Qt. Okay. Yeah, I guess geophysics simulation. I guess for that, what I would recommend is that sounds like a very unit testable thing. So if there's like specific submodules, split into a few libs, which is nice. But there are no tests. Yeah, depending on I guess depending on how like crazy, well, it depends how badly written the code is. But some of your some of the place to get started might be, you said there's no tests. That's not very good. Especially if it's like a physics simulation thing. Because you would expect, you know, for testing physics, it really ought to be correct. Yeah, I mean, some of the issues with projects like that is, the first thing I would think about doing in your situation, if there's no tests, is actually write some tests. Because that way you can use the test to verify your migration. So let's say you're migrating from C++ to Java or something. You can write your Java implementation, and then, you know, just take whatever small granular piece you can, and run your tests against that version, and then try to also run it against the version that's in your other language. And I guess depending on how depending on the interface to it, it'd be nice if you could even write the tests in like a third language, like Python or something. If it has like a command line interface or something, it's nice. So you can write the tests in Python, then run the test suite against your C++ application. And that way you can reuse the tests. The tests would be in the same language for both. But once you start writing tests, you will very likely discover bugs in the old implementation. And so then you have to figure, like, what do you do? Should you port over the bugs or fix the bugs? Java won't work here. Might be even more useless than Python. Yeah, actually, I said Python's probably not a great candidate, but actually, if it's a numerical computation, like if it's very heavy on mathematics, then Python actually might be a good candidate for that because of all the NumPy stuff and any kind of like business logic stuff that's more than 1,000 lines. I think Python is usually not a great option. Modern C++ makes sense. Writing in Rust would be a lot of effort. JavaScript. Actual C++ devs wrote it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it could be a nightmare if depends how bad the code is and how many bugs it has. I could see a project, like if it was written by people who actually wrote pretty good code, then it could be fairly easy to port that. Geophysics simulation. Yeah, I guess one of the things I would look at first is, so you've got your source language and your destination language. One of the first things to study up on is the differences in how numerical operators work between those languages. So there's like a really common thing that can catch you up, which is the difference between negative modulo and remainder. So if you do like 8 modulo -4 or negative 4 modulo 8 or something, the definition of whether the result is positive or negative depends on the language, and that's assuming there's lots of math in it. That's one thing where if you just say, oh, I'll just take this mathematical expression, copy and paste it, no problem, you might get hung up on things. And of course the integer limits is another thing to make sure you look at. So my production rates were really off balance. So much work to make an iron pick, and it doesn't. So much work to make it; it's not even worth it. Bless up. Thank you. Can't figure out where to go back up. I'm stuck. There we go. Stuck in this iron mine. So I gotta start thinking more about the actual expanding the gameplay loop. But I need to, I don't want to spend too much more time in development. I guess we'll probably add some simple extra parameters to the noise generator. So we could have like clusters of the ores, and then clusters clusters for like clays and so I guess if we role play making iron 2,000 years ago, you probably start out with you need like a reducing agent. You need charcoal. I still don't have a good like server or concept of time or ticks yet, so I guess I can just do it all with items in the inventory. So you can consume a certain amount of clay to make a like an what do you call it? A forge. Let me see. I guess I should do more varied testing. Everything seems to be okay so far. Oh, actually, one of the most important tests is the UI tests, so it doesn't crash. Look at that, a fantastic, highly responsive terminal user interface with scroll bars. It's pretty solid. Well, I guess I'll probably leave it there for tonight. I proved that it works. I did not see any significant bugs. I guess there's also tomorrow night. I said I'd release it by I guess maybe I could try to release it tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens tomorrow. But it seems like I've basically accomplished what I wanted for the list, the scrollable list feature. And then once that's released, it's time to back up and reflect a bit on the next piece of content. All right, have a good night, guys. We'll be back tomorrow night for day 199.